We're now on day 3 in the search for today's show host Savannah Guthrie's mom, Nancy. Authorities are urging the public to share any tips they have to help find the 84-year-old and gave more details about their investigation today.
We gathered all the evidence we could, to include looking for what? Fingerprints, DNA, camera images, everything you can imagine, and we gathered that out. Those things have been submitted forward to labs, to technological companies to help us, and we're like you. We're waiting for those returns to come back. We are following all leads we have. That's all I can tell you. We've got hundreds of leads.
Disturbing exclusive new video shows what appears to be a trail of blood leading to the front door of Nancy Guthrie's home. You can also see where a missing doorbell camera has been mounted near the entrance. The scene getting even more concerning after reports of a possible ransom note demanding money for Nancy's return. Joining us now, NewsNation national security contributor Tracy Walder and former CIA officer and FBI special agent and Joshua Sherards, I apologize, a former police captain and SWAT commander. Tracy, first I just want to point out that the fact that we are watching this video of this home that is a crime scene, there is no caution tape, there is no sheriff parked outside to keep the integrity of the crime scene. The Pima County Sheriff's Department is known for a history of corruption, incompetence, fraud, allegations of money laundering. So can we trust that the Pima County Sheriff's Department is doing everything they can to make sure they're keeping the integrity of the investigation intact?
Well, thank you so much for having me, Katie. In short, no, I do think that this is far too early to be releasing a crime scene, especially a crime of this nature. I mean, you now have Border Patrol, BORTAC involved, obviously making the radius larger. My concern, they may have released the crime scene simply because it doesn't hold any more evidence that they feel that they can gain from it. But I still think, given the nature of the case and the fact that she has not yet been found, I think it is very important to maintain the integrity of that crime scene. And I am very surprised that people are that much able to get that close to the door. That is very surprising to me that there is no security around that home.
Yeah, I agree. Joshua, what do you make of the reports of this possible ransom note? And does that mean that the FBI would be involved if this is something that involves a payment across state lines or even internationally?
You know, the FBI is probably going to be involved from square one, no matter what. Obviously, this is a high-profile missing person, possible abduction. FBI has a lot of resources and assets that Pima County doesn't have, so they're going to offer help right from the get-go. Now, the question is whether this, supposed ransom note is legitimate. They're going to be getting hundreds, if not thousands, of phone calls and leads concerning possible direction, possible sightings and tips. And there's no doubt that some of those are going to be fraudulent. And so, my belief is that they're really going to have to dive in to make sure that this ransom note is legitimate. Unfortunately, there are people out there that are going to try to capitalize on anyone's tragedy, including this one. So, there's definitely going to need to be some investigation and due diligence done before anybody gives any kind of merit to this ransom note.
Tracy, the authorities are avoiding details about the evidence that they've collected. That is to be expected. This part of Tucson, the homes are in neighborhoods, but they're spread out. This happened in the middle of the night. It would be difficult for someone to maybe see this. I believe it's a dark sky city, so there aren't a lot of streetlights for people to see maybe what has happened. There's a lack of witnesses. We keep hearing that they need more leads. They're trying to get the media to put out the phone number for the Pima County Sheriff's Department. Do they have a lack of evidence? Do they have some evidence? Do they obviously need more? It seems like they've hit somewhat of a dead end if we get on day 3 here.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Kitty. I think part of the issue is in this day and age, I think we expect there to be just this copious amount of digital evidence, particularly evidence from Ring cameras and those kinds of things, because homes are close together or they're near businesses or those kinds of things. And when you look at this area as a whole, most of these homes, as you mentioned, are on an acre plus. And I said this from the get-go, that things like Ring doorbell cameras may not be as fruitful as we think in an investigation like this, because if they're situated at the front door, you've got quite a ways to view the street, and you may not be seeing cars that are coming in and coming out. Also, this is not a gated neighborhood, and so you really don't have monitored entrance and egress. And so really, it could be anyone's game, and I think they are probably having a hard time getting that digital forensic evidence, which we really rely on in cases like this.
Yeah, Joshua, time is always of the essence in these situations. You know, we were reporting that Nancy was taken without her life-saving medicine, that she needed that. It was left at the house. Now we have this horrific footage of blood outside of the front door. How is this, this investigation changing as time goes on, if at all?
It's very interesting on the information, or really the lack of information that we're getting from Pima County and from law enforcement in general. Normally, by this time in the investigation, law enforcement would be offering any piece of evidence, no matter how small, in order to try to get those tips to be fruitful, whether it's what she was last seen wearing or what she's known to be wearing, places she's known to go, or cars that she may be involved with. But there's not a lot of evidence that's been forthcoming, which tells me one of a few things, and that's that they may know more than they're releasing, and they may understand that this dynamic is a little bit more complicated than they're letting on. So I'm not really sure if they're looking as diligently as they could be because they know more information, a possible suspect or the actual possible whereabouts. But and unfortunately, as time ticks by, those leads and those pathways start to close. So hopefully we'll get some more information from Pima County in the near future about her whereabouts, or any kind of evidence, or any kind of possible evidence or possible sightings that people can go off of.
Tracy, Tucson is an hour away from Mexico. It's very easy in the middle of the night to drive south. Border Patrol has now sent a new special operations group to help with this search. Does that indicate to you that there could have been a crossover of the southern border into Mexico at this point?
I think they have no choice but to examine that if they are still looking. And, to Joshua's point, they have been a bit cagey with the information they're giving out. And in a missing persons case, you want to give as much identifiable information as possible. Even small snippets of any video evidence that you have is helpful. The fact that they have expanded this out, I think at this point, if they have not located her, they don't have a choice, because as you mentioned, it is just about a 60-mile drive, or so, about an hour. So I do think them deploying this group out there is the responsible thing to do. But the one thing they also do specialize in is hostage rescue as well. So in case they need them to go in, if they do locate her, I think that's another reason why they're there.
All right, well, we'll be continuing to watch this and hope that she is returned soon. I know that Savannah asked for prayers, so we'll continue to do that and trust the authorities with handling this investigation. Tracy and Joshua, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.